Hello everyone and welcome back for the second part of the chapter Kings and Chronicles, the Mughal courts. I'll be starting with a fresh topic. The topic is the production of Chronicles. Under this you can take down a question. What is Mughal Chronicle? Question mark. What is their importance for writing of Mughal history? So as the question, first of all, we need to know what is a Mughal Chronicle and what is their importance in regard to Mughal history or for writing Mughal history. So first of all, when we talk about chronicles, the term chronicles is basically given by English people, because whenever a combination of texts which was written by modern historians and translated in English, it was called a chronicle. Now all these chronicles present a continuous chronological record of events. Now when I say chronological, means accordingly, first, second, third, in that way, in a series or in an order, and are an indispensable sources for any scholar who wanted to write about Mughal history. If we want to know about Mughals, so we can go to this. These are all the history which are written by the courtiers of the Mughals, and it is preserved. And once it is preserved, the English writer, once again, they have compiled it accordingly and turn it into a source of studies. That is what known as a Mughal Chronicle. On one side, these chronicles gives us information about the institution of Mughal Empire, and on the other side they convey the meaning of objectives why Mughal rulers wanted to impose on their domain. Now why are we reading this? What is the reason that we have to study Mughal chronicles and all? Now this Mughal chronicles convey two things, as it is said. One is that it provides us an information about the institution, how they have ruled, and the other one is that it also says that whoever resisted the Mughal Empire or whoever showed some resistance towards the Mughal Empire was destined to fall. Means they have to surrender or they will lose the game. When I say game, means a war or anything. Okay. Then in this way, these chronicles gives us an idea or a glimpse that how imperial ideologies were created and distributed or disseminated. The authors of the Mughal chronicles were basically the courtiers. When you say courtiers, means these are the people who are present in Mughal's court, and they were asked, they have to write something which is going on with the king. He don't have to write outside the king's or king's area. What he need to do is he have to focus on events which are basically taking place with the ruler or his family or the courts and the nobles, the wars, and some other administrative arrangement. And many such titles were given to the books or the Mughal chronicles, like Akbarnama, Shah Jahan Nama, then Alamgir Nama. Now these are the stories of Akbar, Shah Jahan and Alamgir. Now a title of the Mughal ruler Aurangzeb, which I mean Alamgir. Now all this says something about the king. If it is Akbarnama, it will tell you something about Akbar. Shah Jahan Nama about Shah Jahan. Alamgir will be all about Aurangzeb. So in that way it came up. From Turkish to Persian, this is our next topic. So under this topic we will be studying about the change of one language to another. That means the court language, it was Turkish when the Mughal Empire started. As the time went by, when the ruler or the Mughal Empire, the main empire or the successor, kept on changing one after another, then the language also changed. What was the reason behind this? So we have to see. So take down a question on that basis. How did the Persian language replace Turkish language in the Mughal period? Question mark. How did this language become popular day by day? So let's see. Most of the Mughal court chronicles were written in Persian. We all know that, Persian. But it was not exactly Persian when the Mughal Empire really started. It was in Turkish language. But then why most of the chronicles were found in Persian? In fact, Persian had flourished as a literary and court language under the Sultans of Delhi. Now we have to see why this language was replaced, replacing Turkish with Persian. What was the main reason? The Mughals were Chagatai Turks by origin, so their mother tongue was Turkish. Babur, who was the first Mughal ruler, wrote his poetry in Turkish. Now not only poetry, but he wrote memoirs in Turkish language. However, Akbar adopted Persian as a language of the Mughal court. So you can see it was not Babur, but it was Akbar who changed the court language. Now he made it a leading language. In fact, Akbar adopted Persian because of the following factors. Now here we are going to see the main reason why he had changed. There are two factors. First of all, he said that he had cultural and intellectual contacts with Iran. Because he was very close with Iran, so he wanted to change it into, or change the court language into Persian. Second thing is that there were many migrants from Iran and Central Asia who sought position at the Mughal court. Now that is his second cause. The reason for changing the language from Turkish to Persian are these two points. First point, once again I am repeating it, he had good relation with Iran, cultural and intellectual contacts with Iran, so he had to change the language. Another thing is that many people from Iran and Central Asia wanted to be a part of Mughal court, so he had to change the language. Thus it was Akbar who elevated Persian as the language of the Mughal Empire. He conferred power and prestige on those who had a command in Persian. Whoever is good in Persian, he had given lots of power to them, or he had given some kind of power to them because they know the language in a simple way. So during the Mughal rule, more particularly in the rule of Akbar, Persian became the language of the administration at all levels. So that is why the accountants, the clerks and other people who are very important or who are very functionaries in the Akbar court, they have to learn Persian, and they learnt it. Then increasing popularity of Persian, that is the subtopic for the same answer. Now why there was increasing popularity of Persian? Slowly and steadily, Persian became a very popular language in India under the Mughal rule. So it is it has left a deep impact on many Indian languages like Rajasthani, Marathi, Tamil. Besides, the Mughal official historians or histories like Akbarnama were also written in Persian. Then similarly, Baburnama was translated from Turkish into Persian. Now translation of many Sanskrit texts such as the Mahabharata, Ramayana also took place, and they were translated into Persian. Now Persian also became a part of India, or we can say Indians started to absorb it as a local language. So a new language, that is Urdu, sprang from this interaction of Persian with Hindavi. That means Urdu, we can say it is a mixture of two languages, Persian and Hindavi, when these two languages mix up together, a new type of language was formed, and that was Urdu. And Urdu also became popular in that time. That is how the language changed from Turkish to Persian, and the reason for change is also discussed in the answer. I hope you understood this. So here we reach the second part of the topic, the making of manuscripts. So here from the topic itself we come to know that we are going to study about how manuscripts were made. So based on that, let us take down one question. Describe the process of manuscript production in the Mughal court. So from the topic itself, it is very clear that we are going to study how the manuscripts are produced during the Mughal court. So first of all, let us see what is a manuscript. In a simple way, manuscript means handwritten books. So all the Mughal books were manuscripts, and the center where work of manuscript production was taken was known as the Imperial Kitab Khana. Now when we define Kitab Khana at present, in a simple way we say it's a library. But during Mughal court it was not only a library, but it was a library plus a printing press. But when I say the word printing press, it may not be correct, okay, because there was no printing press. So I will say it was like a scriptorium. When I say scriptorium, means a place where we have some type of special artists who are very good in writing, or we can say they have very good handwriting and they just keep on noting down what is done during that period. Okay, so that is what a Kitab Khana means. So a Kitab Khana, in a simple way, as it is said that a literary translated as a library, it was also a scriptorium. And in this part, or in this place, the emperor have kept lots of his collections of manuscripts, and not only the past but present also. That means when the past things are already recorded by the scribes, and the present thing which is going on was also on the process of being noted and being turned into a manuscripts or a story. That is how the records were kept during the olden days. Now in order to create a book or a manuscripts, a large number of people were involved in the creation of manuscripts, and they included the following. As you can see in the book itself, on the paragraph, paper makers. And these paper makers were required to make the folios of manuscripts. They are the one who arranged the papers. Before everything was written, they would turn many pages together and turn it in or give it the shape of a text or a book. Secondly are the scribes or the calligrapher. When you say scribes or the calligrapher, as I just described before, scribes or calligrapher are those people who had a beautiful handwriting and they keep copying the texts which are recorded by the courtiers. And what do they copy is all about the steps, the events, or anything that happened inside the Mughal Empire. Basically the royal families, events, their stories, their war, their success, everything was recorded by the courtiers, and it is now given to the scribes so that they can beautifully copy it down and maintain a copy of it for the future generation to read it out. Next are the Gilders. And when I talk about Gilders means the one who designed the pages in a simple way. So in order to make the pages beautiful or look beautiful, Gilders were necessary. So their work is to illuminate the pages. Next are the painters. As we all know, a book without a photo or a diagram is very boring. So in case a person wants to study the history, but if there are no pages with pictures, he or she may not like to study that. So in order to make people catch into that book, or to bring more attention towards that book, they even paint out the scenes from the text, and it was added with the story. Then after this painters are some other people who have different tasks. They don't have to write or anything, but what do? Is they bind the book. So bookbinders. Now when you say bookbinders, means they bind the papers together, and after that they turn it with beautiful ornamental covers. They give them beautiful look, so that at one glance people will be pulled towards the book and they will read that one. The more beautiful the book is, the more reader they will get. So in the end, all these manuscripts were considered very precious, not only from the point of view of the king, but it was precious because we at present we come to know what was that life like in the Mughal Empire, was because of those manuscripts which was kept and maintained. And it was also invaluable, and they were a work of beauty and intellectual wealth. Whatever they had done for that period, or if you compare that, the books which was made in that period was really awesome, because they don't have the special machines, or that type of machines with which they can turn a book into beautiful look, or to give the book a beautiful look. But still they turn the books in such a way, they made the book in such a way that still now if you look at it, you will be wondered like how could they do it without proper machines, proper writers, proper printing press, right? So that is why these books are invaluable, and their work or their beauty is still praised. Now at the same time, some people who are actually involved in the production of the manuscript also got some award, or they were given some kind of titles. Now who are given these titles are basically the calligraphers and the painters, and these people held a very high post, or very high rank in the society. Some are paper makers and some are bookbinders. They are also given different type of awards or titles, and these people really have done the work, and because of their work the books of the past are also considered to be beautiful because of their capability, because of their hard work. That is why it is said that during their time some of these workers like paper makers, scribes, painters, guilds or bookbinders are respected in the society. Otherwise there won't be any good books. Another type of people whom they really praised are the calligraphy or the calligraphers, because of their art of writing or handwriting was beautiful. At present also, if you see someone who has a beautiful handwriting, who has got very beautiful strokes of his letters, I think you will be carried away with that. So in that same way, there were some people who had impressive way of writing, and those people are considered to be a skilled person, and he was given a great importance. It was practiced, that means the way of writing was practiced in different style. Akbar said that he loved nastaliq. Okay, nastaliq is a type of stroke where you dip the scribe or the pen in the ink, and then you just had fluid that which has got a strike. Means right now calligraphy, the art of handwriting, was also a very important part of the Mughal Empire. They were given great respect because of their handwriting, and Akbar was basically fond of nastaliq. It was a style where ink, or we can say the style was to have long horizontal strokes. Means we used to say dragging. When you write a simple thing, we drag it a little farther. So here also a little bit of strike. So towards your left you can see he loved this type of writings. You can see there are some long strikes out there, or strokes are there, which are not necessary, but he loved this. This was a style of writing that he really loved it. So Akbar was in favor of this. It is written, or it was written, using a piece of trimmed reed. When I say reed, means a stick or a bone which has got a different type of nib. Okay, it was made intentionally so that they can pull it out. Then that reed will be dipped into ink, or a carbon ink, which is known as siyahi, and the nib of the kalam is usually split in the middle. If you had seen the olden days nib and all, you will see that same type of shift is there, or split is there, and that split make it it gives a chance to absorb the ink, and it can strike, or it can be used for writing. That was how the different process was used. Means that was how the process of manuscript and production was used. Okay, or people were used in the production of manuscripts. So whichever part was very important, he really considered them, and he had, means the Mughal Empire had given them good chance of developing their art, and he always awarded them, he always praised them, so that they can keep up with their good works.